Welcome, another video, more content, more controversy, more intrigue, much more beef, but I would question and ask where is the beef, because apparently there is none between these two individuals. However, I think I'd be lying and you'd be lying if we all said that there was nothing bubbling under the surface, because I think there is a little bit of evidence. It is clear to see that there is something that is just not quite smooth between Terry and Lee. For whatever reason, Lee is not so much of a fan of Terry's clickbait material, the titles, speaking about Arsenal, the glazing, the toxic positivity, and all that sort of shit. Arsenal scary. Also going after, I use that term loosely, going after the associates or the contributors to the Football Terrace, that being Henry Wright and Rory of Rory Talks Ball. Henry Wright being a Tottenham Hotspur fan, Rory being the Arsenal fan, but Henry talking about Arsenal non-stop. I've done videos on that. Friendships ended over clout chasing, as it were. But what actually happened? Well, from what I've gathered, Lee was meant to debate a fella called AFC Matt on, I'm guessing, Arsenal-related things, perhaps, because Matt seems to be going after Terry non-stop. Not Terry, sorry. Freudian slip. Matt seems to be going after Lee non-stop. However, I wouldn't surprise me if he starts going after Terry, because Terry doesn't use him anymore, which we'll get to in a moment here. But basically, the title that Lee used made it look like Matt was a part of the Football Terrace, which he is not. If it was KJ, for example, I would say, yes, he's a part of the Football Terrace. Obviously, Terry being the owner. But just because you appear on a show doesn't mean you are part of that show. In any case, let's hear a little bit as to Terry's explanation, and then we'll come back and then we'll go over to Lee, because he had some very strong words and a very stern way of giving his version of events.
We were supposed to be having a heated debate, big fights, but unfortunately, the guy ran off because of the title, which he got told to ask me to change by the person who owns the channel that didn't ask me until just now, and I ain't changing it. So if you've got a problem, cry, because I ain't changing it, whether he's on it or not. That title will stand the same now, because I can. Yeah, and if anyone's got a problem with it, cry. Yeah, cry. Yeah, you should find shame as well, mate. Real talk. Yeah, Lee Gunner hates Arsenal. Lee Gunner exposed. Yeah, fucking change all your titles about me and I'll change it. How about that? Fucking audacity.
This here says, Terry, what happened to your boy Matt from an Arsenal fan, Matt? Nothing happened to him at all. I just want to say on that, I don't care what channel Matt goes on. I don't control him. It doesn't work for me. Secondly, never ever would I tell any other YouTuber how to title their videos or what to do. All I was requesting is that the video appeared to show that Matt was a representative of the Football Terrace, and he isn't, because he doesn't work for me and he isn't paid by me.
So as you heard, Lee saying that he got asked to change the title because someone else had asked him to change the title, and he's like, no, I'm not going to change it because I can say and do what I want on my channel, my show, which I actually agree with him. I think he's factually correct in that. It's his channel. He can talk about what he likes, any which way he likes as well, but he still can be criticized and called out for certain things, if it's an attitude, if it's attacking someone directly, if it's going out after the person and not the arguments and things like that, which sometimes does happen, but we're not here to talk about that.
This guy, bruv, like, you don't own YouTube and this is not your channel. It's my channel and I can do what I want. The same as you can do what you want on your channel. Hence getting that fella Matt on your channel.
And no one should have any issue with that statement, what they talk about and all that sort of stuff there. However, on this case though, just as Leah stated on his channel, he talks about what he likes, a bit hypocritical to then go after Terry, Henry and Rory for their content, talking about Arsenal in a mostly positive clickbait type of manner, but more so to this case here, why Matt doesn't go on the Football Terrace anymore. Again, reckons it's because Matt called Fabrizio a nonce, and as Fab is generally always a guest on the Football Terrace, probably removed. Terry axed him because he doesn't want Fab to disappear, because obviously when he's on there, he gets news, appearances, exclusives, and all that sort of stuff. And Lee is not about that. He thinks that it is because of the nonce call.
until he called Fabrizio a nonce, which is why you don't want to be associated with him in the title. Cry. Called Fabrizio a nonce because of the Cheeto Obi Martin deal to Man United, right? Is that right? Is that right? Have I got my information correct? Is that right? Okay. Oh, yeah, it is right. Of course it's right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, cool. 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 Yeah? Yeah, cry. Maybe cry to Henry. Maybe cry to Henry. Oh, actually, let's just play this, actually. Let's just play this real quick, because I can do this for 4 hours, mate, and you know I can. So let's not even take the piss here. Yeah? Let's not even take the piss. The audacity to ask me to change my fucking title. Jesus Christ. Like, honestly, what are we actually doing here? Lee Gunner hates Arsenal. Lee Gunner hates Arsenal winning. He wants them to lose. Lee Gunner fucking exposed. Like, what are we doing? Years of that, Terry, yeah? And you're asking me to change a title.
As I already stated, as Terry has stated, Matt is not a representative. It doesn't go on the show anymore. So I think it's only fair that Lee would change the title, but being petty, it's a bit like that. So to back up Terry, Matt not being part of the Football Terrace, not an actual team member or involved in any which way or an employee in that sort of way, Terry is within his right to ask that the title be changed and have the Football Terrace removed from that because it's factually incorrect, and he's within his right to defend his brand from something that has no actual connection to what Lee is claiming. So I don't see where the problem is in all this, but of course Lee is going to try and defend this decision by claiming that, well, they've clickbaited the shit out of me in the past, so I'm going to do the same thing to them.
Matt doesn't come on the Football Terrace anymore because the man has said some outrageous things on social media, which I think are ridiculous for a grown man to say. And I've stopped him coming on here, and I don't want him appearing on anybody's channel, appearing as a representative of the company that I own. You know, the same as, you know, I wouldn't go, imagine me going on the business and I'm representing the company. I phoned into TalkSport 2 years ago. You know what? I'm a representative of TalkSport. It's crazy.
Seems like a fair statement. I don't see anything wrong with what he said there. Yes, he's been on the channel, but he has no actual connection or any real representation when it comes to the Football Terrace. So there should be no reference of the Football Terrace alongside AFC Matt's. Nothing that is completely fair. Now, as I said, Lee's within his rights, as I am, as Terry is, as everybody else is, to speak about what they like and how they want and all that sort of shit there. Can still be criticized, can still be looked at and critiqued and all that sort of shit. But ultimately, nobody should have any issue or have any real reason to complain about the content in there. Like I said, a bit hypocritical for him to be saying, you know, why you're talking about this when he's saying I can talk about what I want. But in any case, we move. And more so that Terry is very adamant that he wanted the title change, and Lee's just not about that because he's that petty. And again, I don't see where this irrationality comes from. But then Lee saying that he was told not to come on the show, it's a bit mad when apparently there were DMs that were shared within Terry's group chats and the like, and it was clearly stated that there was no blocking or anything to say don't go on there. It was just more so about the title change to remove the Football Terrace.
And then the lad who apparently isn't part of that show, yeah, is then being told he can't come on here by you, but he's not part of the channel. So why would he listen to you then? Because he can do what he wants. He's an adult, right? Fucking state of this game, man. Yeah, seriously, the absolute state, the audacity of these people, man. Shut up.
But yeah, I didn't tell Matt he couldn't go on the show. I don't control anybody in that way. So yeah, big up to that. And yeah, big up to everybody involved. And I hope the show went well. A few people asking if I've got a problem with Lee Gunner. No, none. I don't do the whole beef thing. It's not my way. It's not my way to progress things.
So now that we've established what the issue was, the titling of the video and Lee being Lee, not wanting to let go or let down, and Terry fighting for, you know, to be factual and correct, in which case he is, I believe, within his rights, and I agree that he should not have the Football Terrace be used in such a way that is factually incorrect when somebody is not linked with or a part of or a representative of the Football Terrace. Yeah, he may feature it on there, but as you said, just because I've been on TalkSport a couple of times, I'm not going to start using, you know, Terry as the TalkSport representative, which is a bit mad. Now, someone clarified, asked the question, asked the super chat, why does Terry want Lee to change the title? And then obviously Lee explained it one more time, but he also gave a very good rundown and explanation as to why I also hate the clickbait types of content that he is so adamant and very strictly against in a sense. And it's more so from a general standpoint for me, not specifically to a one club point of view. So let's hear what he has to say.
Big up to Pete, bro, because I put the Football Terrace in the title and Matty's apparently not part of it. Oh, well, last time I checked, he was. Yeah, and either way, don't care. Don't care, bruv. And it's amazing how rattled these people are, isn't it? I don't really give a shit, bruv. Yeah. 359 billion players we've been linked to this summer and we've signed 2. Yeah, how about change all them titles? Yeah, clickbaiting with Fabrizio in the thumbnail and pointing the arrow at fucking a player, Nico Williams, for example, in an Arsenal shirt. And then you click on the video and Fabrizio never mentioned Nico Williams. He's talking about someone else. So why is Fabrizio in the thumbnail pointing at Nico Williams? Yeah, we can all do this shit, innit? Yeah, we can all do this shit. Yeah, why don't you change your thumbnails? How about that? Bro, what are we doing here? What are we actually doing here, bro? Yeah, Fabrizio in the thumbnail with an arrow pointing to a player in an Arsenal shirt. So now you think, well, Fabrizio's mentioned him because the arrow is pointing to the player in the Arsenal shirt. Nico Williams is the example I'm using. You click on the video, you watch it, and Fabrizio doesn't even talk about him. It's a video of Fabrizio or a tweet of Fabrizio mentioning a totally different player. Yeah, so if we're going down this route, change all your thumbnails.
Look, in revision now, looking back, I sort of get why Lee is doing what he's doing. He's like, well, if you guys are going to talk absolute shit and say things incorrectly and link things incorrectly, I'm going to do the same thing. But I think when you're speculating about a player moving clubs or potentially leaving or joining another team and all that sort of stuff, the speculation thing is all fine because you're trying to gauge, some engagement or some intrigue or some, whataboutism. But if you're blatantly going to say that this person is coming on the show care of this channel or this person or whatever it is when they're not really a part of it, I think it's a bit more of a personal thing where I don't think he would like it if someone was coming on the Football Terrace and he said someone coming on like, Nick from the football club coming on care of Lee Gunner, and I say some absolute madness and behave a certain way and say crazy things, and I think he wouldn't like that either. Or maybe he would, I'm not sure, but it's still factually incorrect. So I don't think that there's any real, wiggle room to actually maybe put a case forward for that. The players and that sort of stuff, the clickbaity shit, I get it. But if you're going to put someone's actual name or someone's brand and claim that they are from a particular channel, and the person that said, please remove because it's not factual, it has nothing to do with me, or I don't want anything to do with them anymore, I think that's fair. And Lee should be afforded the same respect as well. If someone jumps on a stream and they've been on Lee's channel and he says, I don't want you to mention my thing, cool, there should be no issues with that whatsoever. Now Terry also has some final parting ways where he says he has no beef with anybody. It's not how he does things, but yet he still has me blocked on Twitter. So what's the go there, brother? Help a brother out here. But anyways, let's hear what he said, because he was supportive of other football channels and all channels alike.
Look, my view on it has always been very, very simple. It's a case of I don't really care what anybody else does or talks about to a certain degree, but I saw the title and I'm like, yo, Matt's not from the Football Terrace. He's been on the Football Terrace, but he's not from the Football Terrace. And that for me is I just asked to him not to come on as a representative of my business and my organization, especially with the mad shit that young man's been saying online. I don't want that associated to me because I don't endorse the message, and there we go. And I think I'm well within my rights to request that, in my humble opinion. Lee, he didn't even come on Lee's show, but that's his prerogative. I'll go and ask Matt for the DMs that he sent to Lee. I'll show you my message I sent to Matt. At no point did Matt say that he wasn't allowed on the show, and nor did I say, please don't go on. So we can prove that to you. And Steve, you've seen the DMs. I put him into the members group chat. Like, you know. So yeah, that's to do with Matt. That's Matt's choice. There's nothing to do with me. So that's all done now. Yeah. And as I say, no beef with anybody whatsoever. Big up to all the channels. Support all of the YouTube community. Lee, United, stand me. Because actually, the more we stick together, the more we grow. The more we infight and kick off at each other, the easier it is for the conglomerates to overtake us. So as I've said for about 4 years straight on my fan channel review show, support YouTube channels as best you can.
So there you have it. What I've understood of this whole schmozzle debacle shit fight for No real reason whatsoever, apart from maybe some pettiness and some disgruntled, maybe hard feelings left behind. And look, there was a point in the live stream, from Lee, where he actually said, look, I don't actually have a problem with Terry himself. It's more so the content aspect. Well, the person is a part of the content as well. If you're doing it for comedic effect, then you can probably say, yeah, I get it. There's a bit of a little bit more given to this. Is not exactly what we're looking at in terms of, verbatim what the person says is a comedic skit or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's tribalism. It's not only with football clubs and who you support, but also with personalities and other people in media, companies and the like. And, people trust one more than the other because they side with one more than the other for whatever reason, whether they love the constant positivity or they love the brutal negative honesty, or some would deem it as negative. Some would say it is factual and correct, as bad as it is, which is fair enough. Sometimes the truth is brutal, but the truth is more so always going to put you more at ease no matter how bad it is. Who you agree with more will dictate who you side with more. So hard to keep an objective side in many things these days. But there you have it. That was my analysis of this situation here. So where's the beef? Apparently there is none. But if you just listen to the clips there, some will tell you that there is some maybe ill feelings in the background there. And look, many speculated in the comment sections. I've seen that Lee is still hurt, angry, spiteful because Football Terrace is doing well without him. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Football Terrace was doing well before him as well to that point. So I don't see how that's a thing, but more so how he was always clowned on and he was always called negative and why is Lee here and no one wants to hear this guy. All he just moans and whinges and complains, and maybe he just thought, bugger all yous, and I'm going to go out there and show you guys that you're all a bunch of pricks, and I'm going to do it in a fun, entertaining way. I don't know his thought process. He can tell you himself. So anyways, that's pretty much what I'm going to leave it here. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any thoughts of your own, let me know down below. And don't just say Lee's a man-child or Terry's a clickbait merchant. We know these things already. Give me something that's maybe a little bit more constructive, or give me your thoughts as to what could be behind all this, as it were. So anyways, thank you all for watching. Descriptions of the streams, respectively, are in the description section down below. Check them out, and I'll catch you on the next one. Good day.